Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Claire. Today we're going to talk a little bit about improvisational comedy. So there's really kind of three different types of comedy. There's improv, there's stand-up, and there's sitcoms. And there's a big difference between the three. In improv, we get suggestions from the audience. We make things up on the spot. And so there's no ability to pre-plan anything or pre-think things. You just have to be in the moment right then and there. Then there's the sitcoms where there's a sequence of events that's always going to be followed for every 22-minute episode. And then there's stand-up, like Jerry Seinfeld, who is practicing all the time in front of the mirror, making sure that their gestures are just so, and they look in the mirror to make sure that they've got their facial expressions. And so it's a lot different animal versus improvisational comedy. And one of the things that I've discovered is that improv really does map into the business world as well as our life, because there's a lot of things in improv we do that make sense in business, like give and take, like listen, watch, and concentrate, like making your partner look brilliant, like making sure that you're fully present and not thinking about the next thing that you're going to say. And when we look at that in a business world, it really makes a lot of sense. And so this next 7 series, we're going to be looking at how improv can work into business as well as your life. So my challenge for you this week is to listen to your laughter. Just feel what it feels like to laugh and be light. And let us know how that feels on our Facebook page at Coffee with Claire. As you know, each week we invite people who are entrepreneurs, people who give back to the community, and people who like to have fun. And so today I'd like to introduce to you Michelle Bardwell. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Claire.
Michelle is a natural medicine practitioner. She is owner of Flower Road, which is an alternative health institute, and developer of the 13 Botanical Formulas, which is a system of premium grade essential oils designed to specifically address physical and emotional issues. Currently, she's working on a book to help us muggles learn how to use her revolutionary system. So welcome, Michelle. So glad that you're here.
Thank you, Claire. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So, you know, you have done so much in a short amount of time in regards to this learning process. You know, let's start with how you got started in being interested in this, and then we can kind of go into where you got your education and that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, I find that most people that are in the healing field were sick when they started. And that was sort of the truth for me, too. I had asthma really bad and was taking all kinds of inhalers every day, and I wasn't feeling better. So I did some research on the internet. This was back in 1998, 97, 98. And I started really getting interested in aromatherapy, although I'd always had a love for essential oils. And I found this one school that had a course that looked like it was a little bit more educational than just like making soaps and you know, bath bombs and things like that. So I started taking that course, and from there I was invited to go with a group of students to the south of France. So I thought I was going on just a simple girls trip, and then it turned into something that actually really just completely shifted my life.
Wow.
So that's how I got into it.
So you went to the south of France and discovered yourself as well as your new vocation.
Yes.
How exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you got back, you know, a lot of times we get inspired at these off-site venues, and then we get home and we get back into our old rut. So how did you keep that momentum going forward and really make this what it is now?
You know, I think part of it was I felt better.
Yeah. I
figured out how to heal myself. And there was just something really deep that happened for me there. It was spiritually and emotionally and educational too. So, I mean, it really hit me to my core. So I think that right there was what really kept me focused on it. And then just the essential oils that I was turned on to by this man that was producing them, Patrick Collin, was also very inspiring. And so it just kept, you know, building and building and building.
So when you worked with Patrick, how many people did he bring under his wing? Are you in kind of an elite circle?
Yes, yes, very much so. So he taught many people, you know, through the years. People would come to him, mostly doctors from around the world. Groups would come to work with him in the south of France. But I was really the only individual that continued to go back. I went back and forth to France 3 or 4 times a year for about 10 years.
Wow.
And he told me at one point that I was the only student that he had that actually had taken it to that level. And so actually what I've done, the system that he taught me is the ancient Hippocrates temperaments combined with the new modality of aromatherapy. And so he and Pierre Francome created this system where they brought those two things together and created what I now call Hippocratic aromatherapy.
Also, let's break it down a little bit for the audience. Let's talk about aromatherapy first, and then let's get into what you have specially developed.
Okay, great. So what part of aromatherapy?
Well, what is it? What is aromatherapy? I know that it smells good, right?
Yes.
Okay, so besides that,
Yes.
what does it do?
So the practice of aromatherapy is the use of therapeutic grade essential oils. So an essential oil is created by water and heat. That is the only way essential oils are created. If oils are extracted from a plant with chemicals, that is not an essential oil. That is a different kind of product.
Okay.
That cannot be used in aromatherapy. So it's pretty specific.
Okay.
When you're working in aromatherapy, it is a therapeutic modality. So you must have the right product.
Okay.
So that's what aromatherapy is. And it is, you can practice, when you practice by really wanting to affect the mind and the emotions, then you're worried about how something smells.
Okay.
But when you're wanting to affect the body physiologically, then you need to know like these sort of things: ketones, sesquiterpenes, aldehydes, oxides, esters, ethers, etc.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what those things are.
So those are
I have no idea what those mean.
Those are chemical families.
Okay,
so
well, I like family.
So the thing is, aromatherapy is really quite complex. And to practice and really help people heal, you really have to understand the chemical breakdown of the essential oils. It's not about just thinking, oh, lavender smells good and it's relaxing, I need that. You really have to have a deep understanding of the chemical breakdown of the individual essential oils, and they're all different.
So can we just kind of briefly go over what these things are, just so we can have a foundational understanding? Because I know we don't have time to go into as much depth.
And you know, I have the bad habit. I mean, I love this part of it so much. I love the organic chemistry so much that I tend to think that everyone's going to love it as much as me, and so I tend to just dive right into it. So I apologize for that. I'll try to keep it simple.
Awesome.
So this is a pretty simple chart. And each one of these chemical families, there are 10, each one of these chemical families has a specific action. So that's, you know, like when you read aromatherapy books, it says it's antispasmodic, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, etc. That's because each one of these chemical families has one of those actions. Okay? So when you're really wanting to practice with essential oils to make some kind of a difference in the body, it's really important that you understand the chemical families and what each one does.
And so, to use my term muggle again, as a
and I
muggle...
love that, by the way. That must mean I'm like
you're
Harry Potter level.
Definitely, yes, you are definitely the expert. So somebody like me coming into your, to Flower Road and to have something take place, is it okay that I don't know this, that you just kind of come in and say, okay, Claire, I want you to sit down, I want you to be really relaxed and be comfortable, and I'm going to take care of everything else?
Yes.
Yay, that's what I want. I want to go in, I want you to make me feel good, and I want to be educated, obviously, but I'm never going to be able to remember everything that you know.
And when clients come in, that's the first thing I do is try to give them an overview of the system, the Hippocratic aromatherapy system, so they can also have some power within themselves, because for someone to truly heal, they have to feel like they can heal and they have the power to heal. So that's one of the first things I do with people is make sure that I give them back their power, because a lot of times when people come in and they've been really sick for a long time, they've really lost belief in themselves, in the medical system, in their ability to heal. So that's one of the first things to do, is to bring that spirit back alive in someone.
So you've got a unique take on all of this, and so why don't we talk a little bit about that uniqueness, because there's a lot of people out there that say, I do aromatherapy and I deal with essential oils, and you know, you can buy them on Amazon now. So what's the difference between what you're doing and what they might experience through that venue?
Well, actually, this system that I learned could be good for anyone. It could be good for the lay person just walking into Walmart to buy their oils, or Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It could be good for the multi-level marketing people that are out there, the reps that are out there right now that have the best intentions to do good things, but some of them don't have a great education, so they tend to overdo it and hurt people.
Ooh, okay.
So with this system, First, you understand the chemical families, and this is really not that difficult to learn. There's basically 10, and you learn the one catchphrase, like it's antiviral, antibacterial, etc. Then, the way to be the most effective is to understand the Hippocratic temperaments. Then what you can do, there are 4 Hippocratic temperaments. Hippocrates put people into 4 temperaments, which is very similar if you know Ayurvedic medicine. So it's similar to the doshas.
Okay.
So Hippocrates said there's choleric, sanguine, melancholic, and phlegmatic. And a lot of times people have heard these terms from like Shakespeare or Jane Austen,
okay.
Because they use these terms to help describe people in their novels.
Okay.
So what you do with this system is once you can determine someone's temperament from this chart, then you take your chemical family chart and you can put these 2 things together, hold it up to the light, and now you can see the different,
I
see
see.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see the different chemical families that are best suited for that temperament. So when you're really trying to make a physiological change, you have to, 1, understand the chemical families of the essential oils, and then to really be effective, understand the person, the individual person, and how their body functions.
Okay. And so you've got a company that is here in Dallas. It's called Flower Road.
Yes.
And I love the name Flower Road. How did you even come up with that?
Well, so after that first trip, I'm on my way home, and I'm just full of like, oh my God, I've got to start importing these oils that Patrick makes. I know this is what I want to do. What am I going to call it? And there was this tiny little road that I would go down to get to this farmhouse where I got to study.
Okay.
It was on this, like a road that barely one car could fit down. And I thought, I just want to have a name of my company that captures that feeling of going down that road and all the plants and, blah, blah, blah. So on the way home on this long plane ride, I'm thinking. I come home, and I'd never been away from my children at that point. They were like 7 and 3,
Okay.
and so, I'd missed them. I'd been gone for 2 weeks, and so I come home. My daughter is in the kitchen. She's 7 at the time. She'd been playing house, and she had made a street sign that she had stuck up on the wall, and it said Flower RD. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. Yeah. So that's how I came up with the name Flower Road. I mean, it was perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I know that, being an entrepreneur and being a healer is sometimes kind of tough because, you want to help everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's a business. Mm-hmm. So, if you had some advice for somebody that's kind of looking to get into this type of business, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to do. I think that working with people is what's helped me develop my line. Working with individuals has helped me to develop all of it, to develop my knowledge, to develop stronger ways of being able to help people, and then also has given me a lot of information that I can now share in a book, and also be able to teach others how to do the system I'm doing. So I would say that if you're trying to do both, definitely focus on the clients in the beginning. Really get that rich feeling of taking care of people, because when you're given to people like that, it starts building and building.
Right.
So I think that is the most important thing, is to...
And you did, and what it sounds like is that you did a really good job of listening to what people were, the feedback that you were getting too, and not just listening, with your ears, but also, watching the bodies and things like that. And your eyes got really big.
Yeah. Well, what I have found is that this system, and it took me a while. Patrick kept saying, I kept going back to study, and he kept saying, just go. You've got the information. Just go do the work. So as I've done the work more and more, I have found that understanding the temperaments has given me such a great ability to quickly hook into my own intuition. because I go by my education. I see the temperament. I see what is naturally there that you can't change. That's the truth and how somebody's built. And then it just seems to open up my ability to help them even further.
Yeah,
and I think, actually, this system, I think, could be good for anyone. It doesn't just have to be an aromatherapist. Even someone like yourself or a nurse or anyone that's in business, if they understood, the 4 temperaments, it just gives you a great understanding of how to speak to people, how to recognize, like, if they're not okay, or if they're approachable or not approachable, just things like that.
So being able to read body language, not just listen to the words, but also understand, where they're starting from, because it looks like there's a lot of some of the things that are involved in, phlegmatic or lymphatic, they have a round or pear-shaped face. Okay, and then melancholic, they have a triangle-shaped face.
That's right. Sanguine has a square face, and then the choleric has a rectangular face.
Okay, so what shaped face do I have?
You have a pointed chin, so you've got some melancholy.
Okay.
But you have a nice square jaw, so that means you have a lot of sanguine.
Okay.
So the way this chart works is that there's an axis that goes across like this. So if you're melancholic, you're going to also have some sanguine. And then if you're phlegmatic, you're going to have some choleric, or vice versa. So you have this great balance between the melancholy and the sanguine. And so your sanguine nature is what gives you the ability to come out here and be very talkative and have lots of energy.
Okay.
You have soft blue eyes. You're very engaging. But then, as you told me earlier, sometimes you have to really retreat. And that small pointed chin is the sign of someone that when they're overworked, they have to retreat. So like in business, like if you have a staff that you're having to deal with, when you understand these temperaments, you understand why certain people act a certain way.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So how can people learn more about what you do, the classes that you deliver, as well as the new book that's coming out?
Flowerroad.net.
Flowerroad.net
Yes.
for all of that information.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
to
got
book
the
appointments.
products, the services, the classes will be listed on there. And then, of course, all the social media. And all the social media is listed at flowerroad.net as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Claire.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So today we're going to demonstrate a game from our improv troupe called Moving Bodies. And so what we do with Moving Bodies, this is Michelle, I'm Claire, this is Shelby, and this is Twyla. And what we're going to do is Shelby and I are going to be puppets, and these guys are going to move us. And the only way they can move us is if you want us to move our leg forward, you have to tap the back of our leg, okay? And if you want us to move our leg back, you move our leg back. If you want our arms to move, you're going to have to move our arms, okay?
Okay.
Now, we need a suggestion from our audience as far as where to start. So where would be a great place to either vacation?
Paris.
Or Paris, okay. So we are, that's our suggestion is Paris. And so what I'd like for you guys to do is to choose who you're going to be moving. One of you guys will be moving me. One of you guys will be moving
Claire,
Shelby.
I'll move you.
Okay. And if you'll put us in a starting position, just kind of get us at least going a little bit. Just put us in any position you want. Is this where you want us?
Yep.
Okay, Shelby, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. I can't believe we're in Paris again. I'm so bored of this place.
I don't know. It's nice to travel around Europe.
Yes, I see all the lovely sights, but I can't see your face.
Well,
But I
Delilah.
can touch your head.
Delilah, I hate it when you touch my head.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'll touch my head instead. I'd really like to go forward and see the opera.
All right,
I'd
let's
see
go.
it. Let's go. Oh, this is awesome. The Champs-Élysées is beautiful this time of year. Oh,
It really is.
oh, I have a stomach ache. I'm so sorry. We must stop.
Oh, goodness. The
I'd
nearest
love-
hospital.
Oh, wait,
is
I'm
behind
retreating.
us.
Excuse me. I really just want to look at your eyes. I miss seeing you. There you are.
I'm right here. Okay, we'll get you through this.
Thank you.
Stomach aches are a very terrible thing to deal
Especially
with.
in a foreign country. I'm worried about the health care. Oh my gosh, I'm better now.
You're better.
I'm better. I I think it was the stretch that I did with my leg.
All right, wonderful. I'm
And
sure me standing here doing nothing
yes.
is very helpful.
Of course it is. Oh, look at the man
here's
over
a comfort
there.
you.
I see him. He's a handsome man. He's got a baguette.
Oh, you have to go flirt with him.
I am. I'm going as fast as I can. Hopefully I'll catch
Go
him.
faster.
I am going as fast as I can. That's time. That's it. We're done. Good job. You know the scene's over when you start laughing. All right.
Was that right?
Michelle, you did a great job.
Claire.
Twyla, you did a great job. Thank you so much for playing with us
great.
today. And that was Coffee with Claire, Moving Bodies. We are all so busy. How do you balance fun with responsibility at work?
Balancing fun with responsibility at work. It's not easy. Every day is a challenge, but I think finding the positivity in what we do every day at One Wing and connecting families with support groups really makes the day a lot easier.
Awesome. So what are some of the fun things about growing your business?
Growing our business and our nonprofit, the fun thing is connecting and meeting other people who have gone through what we have and finding hope in the next year of their lives.
So how do you encourage others in their life to have fun?
To take a break, not take everything so seriously, take some time for yourself and have some hope and faith in yourself that everything in the end is going to work out.
So what advice could you give someone that might be struggling right now as to how to keep it fun?
I know I keep coming back to this, but having faith in yourself and having just a little hope and knowing that you can get through anything with the help of your friends, your family, and even just yourself.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
So the One Wing Foundation is a Texas-based nonprofit organization that is founded on providing funding to other Texas-based organizations to help families that are bereaving from who have suffered either miscarriage, stillbirth, infant or pregnancy, or infant loss.
And if you had a happy dance or a happy stance, what would that look like?
Just filled with excitement.
So this week, I challenge you to catch yourself laughing. How does that feel inside? Do you feel more creative? Are you inspired to do something different? Let us know on our Facebook page at Coffee with Claire. We're here for you. And remember, follow the fun. I'll see you next time.